My name is Jelle de Simplare and I work for MTM Gifts. And MTM Gifts is a company who mainly does product design. We have an office here in Belgium and we have an office in Hong Kong. My job basically is the product design and the product development. So I'm a product and graphic designer. I work for the website, the magazines, the catalogs, and I do the product design for the development and the whole design process. My country of origin is Belgium and I work mainly for MTM Hong Kong, so in Hong Kong. It's not really necessary to speak Chinese in Hong Kong because people there are pretty international and also the companies we work together with are very international, and also the second language in Hong Kong is English. So with a good English knowledge you can achieve quite a lot. The nicest food and drinks I came in touch with in Hong Kong was probably the fried noodles. It's a dish we don't know here in Belgium or in the Chinese restaurants here in Belgium. And it's just another way of cooking the noodles and another way of preparing, and also some ingredients we don't know or we don't really are familiar with here. So yeah, probably this. And also I love the Tong Yuen, and Tong Yuen is a drink they serve in Hong Kong. It's like a mix between coffee, milk and tea, and they just drink it with any hot dish. So it's pretty strange for us. Like the first week I really need to get used to the drink and to combine it together with the hot food, but after a while it's pretty delicious, and still every time I go back I always order my Tong Yuen. Mainly the eating habit and the dinner and lunch are eaten outside, so people don't really cook in Hong Kong. They mainly go to restaurants or small food shops you can find at every corner of the street. Yes. So grocery shopping is not a real thing in Hong Kong. You can find some ingredients to prepare food yourself, but mainly people just go out and they have lunch and dinner in the restaurant. Well, my colleagues were at work itself. They were very focused on the job, and they always were pretty busy and pretty focused and pretty serious about their job. Mm-hmm. And they didn't really joke or laugh about, like, if I compare it to the work atmosphere we have here in Belgian offices. So yeah, and also the people there, they really go for the deadline and they really go for the target that has been set by their managers or their bosses. So yeah, they really go for their company, and they are really part of the company, and they're like the real ambassadors of the company. So they're really part of it, and they don't really do a 9-to-5 job as we know it, but they just work until the work is done. Well, this is the biggest work ethic difference, I guess, between Belgian or European companies and Hong Kong companies, that people are very dedicated to what they need to do in their job and what has been expected from them. So yeah, I think this is the main difference. Okay. I was working in the Hong Kong office there. I started from 9 to 6. These were my regular working hours, but actually I never quit the office before 7 or 8 because people just keep working until the work is done, because the targets and the stress level is pretty high there. Mm-hmm. Also, if you don't achieve what has been expected, or you don't get your deadline at the end of the day, there might be some consequences, and there's always other people to wait to pick up your place in the company. So the stress and the pressure is pretty high. If you compare it to the company I work currently for here in Belgium, here we kind of have an open meeting where people are pretty okay to say everything they think or they wanna give as an input. But in Hong Kong, I guess people are a little bit more reserved, and they don't really want to say something bad about the boss or about the work or about the customer. The level of respect is a lot higher.
Because there's a power distance.
Yes, I think so. There's a bigger difference between the managers and the general staff and the technical staff. So everybody has his own position in the company. Yes. And it's more a matter of respect and like keep up a good face, and don't really say what you think, but it's better just to speak in the name of the company. And For me, it was pretty easy to adapt because the country of Hong Kong is pretty international. There's a lot of international companies working there, and also the people are pretty internationally minded compared to China, which is a very communistic country. Hong Kong is very open and very easy to access and very easy to adapt. I guess Hong Kong is probably the one of the easiest countries in Asia to visit and to enter if it's the first time you go to Asia. For me, it was not that easy to meet locals because the people are also a little bit more preserved and they're not very social and very open. But the moment you start to talk to them or you approach them, they're very happy to talk to you and they're very happy to show you around or to help you. But they will not come they will not come on the street and just talk to you and try to make friends. It's more it's you that need to make the first step to do the first step. It was a pretty big culture shock when I was living in the suburbs. It's more the outside of the city of Hong Kong. There's still a very big cultural difference with our culture we have here in Belgium. So for example, the real Chinese traditions and the respect of their gods and their prayers and their worship for their leaders is pretty big. But on the other hand, Hong Kong is pretty international, as I mentioned before, and it's very easy to get used to the system and get used to the cultural experience, the culture they have there. The most shocking experience I had in Hong Kong was during the Holy Week. This is the week around our Eastern holidays, and they kind of pray and worship for their ancestors, they ancestors who passed away. So instead of just going to the graveyard as we know it here in Belgium, they go to the mountains because the people mostly are buried like on the hillside on the mountain. And instead of being very quiet and very sad, actually they kind of celebrate a little bit and they burn paper money, they burn paper toys, they burn paper clothes just to send it to heaven or whatever they want to call it. And also they put some firework on the graveyard and they make like a small bonfire there. So it's a totally different experience, and they handle this kind of emotions and their feelings in a very different way. They kind of like go to a party, not really dancing party, but they have some dinner together and they have some drinks, and it's like a very cozy and funny day together with the family. Well, if I could give a piece of advice when you go to Hong Kong for the first time, I think just don't try to listen to too many people who try to tell stories about Hong Kong or try to guide you through Hong Kong. I think the best experience is just arrive there and just find your way out, because it's a pretty easy country or city to live and to work in. Like, people speak English, it's a very international atmosphere, so if there's something, there's always somebody to help you. And just try to go with the flow and try to experience it as you just would like to live and find your way through the city.